Hey, this is Matt with the Nampa Hiker channel, and I'm over here up by McCall, Idaho. We're going to do some backpacking. I was expecting some patches of snow. A storm came through though, and we've got about, I'd say 4 or 5 inches. So, we're going to backpack this trail to 2 lakes out here, and we have 2 days before another front comes in, so we're gonna have to get this done beforehand. I'm a little worried about the snow right here because I'm not wearing gaiters today. I got my hiking boots on and just a pair of pants here, some polyester pants, and of course I got all my warm gear, but I don't want to get all soaking wet. But it's almost dark right now, so I'm not going to actually film the trail in, but once we get to camp, we're going to set up camp, and then in the morning I'll get the camera going and show you the sights. So stay tuned. So we're at our campsite right now, and see that crackling? We had trouble getting the fire going, and I just happened to notice right over on a nearby tree here. Let's see if I can catch this on the camera. I don't know if you can see it. All that right there on this whole tree is all... That's the shadow of my camera. I haven't got my headlight on. That's all resin and fat wood and beautiful resin soaked bark. And that was a saving grace for us today. So we're really happy here. We got the fire just starting to go. All of the wood, of course, is soaking wet. But you know what? I think it's gonna be a good fire once it gets going. What do you think, Lee?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Success. So right now I'm actually cooking a sirloin steak that I brought out on the cube stove. So the cube stove is made by Firebox. So I thought I'd put it through the ringer this weekend. I'm going to be making a bunch of things on here. I'm actually probably going to make another steak tomorrow, and that way I could show it a little bit better. But how cool is that? Sirloin steak out on the trail. Well, it's first light here. There's our camp up there. It's about, oh, I don't know, maybe 20 degrees or so. I would call this winter backpacking, but it's actually not winter, it's actually fall. It's, let me see, it's November 3rd. We already have about 4 or 5 inches. We were going to backpack into a couple of lakes, but we got to the trailhead really late. I think I already explained this. And honestly, in the dark with all the snow on the ground, I couldn't recognize too much of, I've been to the trail once before, but it was a year ago. And then seeing it in the dark with a bunch of snow on it, we decided we didn't want to take the risk and backpack into a bad situation and get lost. So we just set camp at the trailhead, and probably gonna do some day hiking to the lakes instead of backpacking there. We might backpack there, I don't know, we'll see. But as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful up here in the Boise National Forest. So you can get a good panoramic. We're right next to our water source here. Couldn't be any prettier. It is pretty stinking cold though. Well, let this be a lesson to you. It's better to have a dome tent in the snow than to have one that's held together by guy lines and everything else. Basically what happened is the tree decided to dump all of its snow, and there you go. Pretty funny though. Next time I'm going to bring in a dome tent. I got one, it's just a little bit heavier, so I was being a weight weenie and decided not to bring something out because it weighed like an additional pound. Next time I'll make the sacrifice and bring out a dome tent. So we just had breakfast. I had scrambled eggs and bacon that I made on my cube stove right here. Now I'm just boiling up some water just so we could have some more coffee. Always more coffee. And anyway, Lee, what'd you have for breakfast?
I had oatmeal for breakfast this morning. Pretty good.
Oatmeal. Good old standby. Anyway, this is that tree that I told you about. This is the only reason we had fire last night. Look at all that sap coming out. Yep. It's got some sap off there with some bark. Someone went to town on this tree. That's a shame. Looks like someone took their hatchet to it, and it wasn't us. We pulled off some over here off the part that was already seeping. Not much though. But yeah, we're gonna go explore in a little bit, see what we can find here. Well, we're crunching along here in the snow. Apparently someone has been here before, because we're walking in other people's tracks here. So right up here is a reservoir, and about 2 miles beyond that is Boulder Lake. Not sure how far we're gonna go in, but gosh, look at this. This is gorgeous. Or as my friend John, the intense angler, would say, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I always tease him about that. But it is gorgeous. In a cold kind of way. Well, here we are. It's the reservoir. This is man-made, obviously. There's a natural spring that feeds Boulder Lake, and that spring comes down here where they dam it up for whatever reason that they have. Got a Jeep trail here too, and then it goes down there, and that's the spring that goes to our campground. And right up there, let me see if I could focus in on it. That's the peak that is overlooking Louis Lake. Well, we're about 2 miles down the trail heading to Boulder Lake here. It's slow going. Trying to get through all this snow and stuff. Watching that trail. I'm glad we didn't try this at night. There's no way we would have done it. But it's easy enough to follow during the day when it's nice and bright, for the most part. Well, looking straight up the face of the mountain here, you can tell it's snowing now. I think we got like a quarter of a mile till we get to the lake. It's kind of hard trying to find this trail. We keep losing it and refinding it, but we're not staying very far off of it. So this is quite an adventure. Well, here we are. This is Boulder Lake. After 2 miles through all that snow, we made it. So we're gonna rest for just a little while since it's snowing. We don't want our trail to be obscured. I'm gonna head back to camp and have some hot soup or something. Look at that. Gorgeous. There's actually a geocache on top of that. Last time I was here, some of the guys went up and grabbed it. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to show you for the hike to Boulder Lake. So God bless and happy trails.